Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is Ship Updates. Now, of course, this week, all the news is, of course, the sale, the big sale. The Drake Dragonfly is finally here. There, you can see it up on screen, so long as some decent art showed up before I finished putting this video together. And there's going to be some really cool stuff that's going on in this sale. Now, part of the sale, of course, is the ship, $35. You can use it to buy the ship as, either, you can use it in space or you can use it basically as a speeder bike on ground. But they did note on the show today that you can't use it to fly up in the air while you're on the ground. So you can't use it to just kind of like take off while you're on a planet and fly around in the atmosphere. And the ship itself cannot transition between atmospheric flight and space flight, so you can't basically hop on it and then fly up into space, nor reverse fly back down to a planet. But we did learn some interesting things. Once again, of course, it can be carried in the Caterpillar, and right now they were asking people, or people were actually asking them, how many dragonflies can you fit in a Caterpillar? And obviously for deployment purposes, right now they're giving a safe number of 2 per module. So I'm not sure if that includes the nose module on the Caterpillar, if that counts as one too. So I'm going to be conservative and say just the 4 mid modules in the Caterpillar. You're looking at about 2 per module, so 8. Now, can you deploy and control all 8? Sort of like if you have 8 NPCs and 8 bikes in a Caterpillar, can you basically deploy 8 fighters? I'm not quite sure that is how it's going to work out. It seems somewhat logical, but at the same time, I mean, when you think about the workload that would create on a server, if you could do things like that, like one person being able to more or less not control but command 4 or 8 NPC fighters, and how that would propagate through the game. I mean, if you could do it with full-size fighters or something like that, it seems a little bit iffy that you would be able to do something like that. So if you're thinking about, going out and buying 8 dragonflies and 1 caterpillar, I would be conservative in my thought process on that, just in case, because I don't know that they would allow us to control that many, but who knows? They might, right? I'm just being conservative here. But speaking of buying a Caterpillar, once again, the Caterpillar is going up on sale this weekend. So, basically, probably by the time you're seeing this video, it's already up. And one of the cool things is there is a package with a Caterpillar and 2 Drake Dragonflies, and all 3 ships have LTI. Now, of course, there was no problem in getting LTI on a Caterpillar in the sale, because you could just grab a Dragonfly and then flip it to a Caterpillar through the CCU system and get an LTI Caterpillar. And I mean, everybody knew that you could do that. I mean, there's tons of people out there who are going to just buy Drake Dragonflies just to flip it to an LTI version of a ship they want later, should that ship come up for sale, or if that ship isn't already for sale. So, I mean, no real surprise there. It was just a question of flipping the switch, and it was going to take too much work for them to find some way to finagle that package so that they could without putting LTI on the Caterpillar to anger some people. So they just basically decided, screw it, just put LTI on the Caterpillar and save us a bunch of work on the back end. I mean, I know some people might get bent out of shape out of it, but it does save a lot of headache and a lot of BS. And I mean, truthfully, with this ship for sale, you can pretty much LTI anything, so it was going to happen one way or another. So it's really no big deal. So the one package that they did confirm was that there would be one package with 2 Dragonflies and a Caterpillar, and all 3 ships would have LTI. Now, there was also something, I still don't have the full details on it yet, but there was something about a yellow or a gold version of the Dragonfly that would be like a limited edition version. Now, I don't think that's going to cost more. I think it's just going to kind of signify that paint scheme came with the original first sale of the Dragonflies. So another thing to consider if you're thinking about getting a Dragonfly and you'd like that little bit of prestige on your model. Now, they did talk a little bit about what ships the Dragonfly can be carried around in. Now, of course, it's got a compact mode. And they said, yeah, of course you can carry it around in a Freelancer. They said the only two ships that it won't fit in right now that they know of, ships that have a large cargo space within them, are the Avenger and the Reliant. Now, the Avenger, it's because the cargo door, you know how if you've ever been in and out of an Avenger, you know the cargo door, it's not as open as it initially seems. It's actually kind of a low cargo door, almost like you would have to duck through it. And so it probably would not fit in there. And the same thing with the Reliant. They're just a little bit too small, but they said they have to wait, for everything to be built out on the ship to see just how big it's going to be. So I don't think you'll quite be able to sort of like fold it up almost like a much bigger, heavier version of, say, like a guitar case, and or a case for a bass or whatever, and then just carry it around and then just put it down on the ground, push a button, and it all pops out and it's ready to rock and roll. So those two ships, they've said that pretty much it's not going to fit in those, but anything else with a large cargo bay, it's entirely likely. And they are looking into the possibility of attaching it sort of like a store-all module to an Aurora. So, it's possible that it can do that, but once again, they have to get it all built out. So, some interesting stuff there, but they did, as for when it's going to get built out, they said sooner rather than later. But they haven't really given an exact date. But really, if they're looking for it to be both like a ground transport and a space transport, it's going to be something that has a really wide appeal. Now, they did say that the lore behind this is that Drake is the first company to really break into the space bike market, so other companies may come down the line with their own versions of it, but this will be the very first space bike in the universe. So, obviously there's a cool factor to go along with that, and of course, if there's a limited edition version, that's definitely going to be something that the collectors are going to want more than anything. So definitely a lot of cool stuff to look forward to. And pretty much, I titled the last video as Drake stealing 2016. It kind of looks like they've had the first half of 2016 all wrapped up, because we also found out that the Herald is wrapping up right now. Now, of course, for the developers earlier in the week, we found out that the Herald is going to be the second to next hangar ready ship. And the order that they gave was that the Reliant was going to be the next hangar ready ship, but that the Reliant is, it's basically in game now. So when they recorded that, the Reliant 2.4 had not been released. And so now 2.4 is released, so the Reliant is out. And the next ship they mentioned was the Caterpillar, was going to be the next hangar ready ship. And then after that, the Herald. So those of you who go out and buy a Caterpillar in this sale, it looks like the next hangar ready ship is in fact going to be the Caterpillar. So that is definitely something to look forward to. And of course, the Caterpillar, or at least the Caterpillar portion of this package that we are going to see today, is going to be at the old concept sale price. And, once again, the sale isn't up yet, so I can't confirm that, of $245. That's the way it's supposed to be, according to the previous post that they made. So that's a lot to look forward to. If you're looking to pick up a Caterpillar, to find out that you're buying it at the concept sale price now, and it's the next hangar ready ship, at least according to Forrest Steffen. So, but at this far along, this close, I would say that it's probably a very safe bet that that's actually going to be the way that all goes down. Now, before I wrap all this up, obviously that's a lot of big news. A Caterpillar, and it's going to be the next hang-ready ship if you buy it. That's great. But there was actually some information on last week's episode. I was wondering if they hadn't flipped the Caterpillar control module over to the other side, because if you look at this image, which is the same image that Sandy Gardner's shared over Twitter, there really didn't seem to be a lot of mechanical connection points for that hatchway that you see there. So I was wondering, in contrast to previous images like this one here, where you see like a whole deal to where the ship actually connects with the main body, at least on the Caterpillar. So I had theorized that perhaps they had moved the control module, because in some of the earlier images of the Caterpillar, you see the control module on the other side. So I was wondering if, for whatever reason, they hadn't flipped it over, but it was a viewer, Cody Horn, who said, no, it's still on that side. And then I went back and I checked, and in the subscriber art area, there was further images to go along with the one that Sandy Gardner had posted, which I guess I can't show you unless it accidentally somehow showed up in this video. I don't know how, but that actually confirmed that yes, it was in fact on the normal side, which is on the left-hand side. So even though like you can't really see a lot of mechanical connection points there, it is still on the normal side. And Cody Horn actually made another good point where they were talking about the reveal at Gamescom. And since it is a reveal, and since we already know the Caterpillar, and now we actually know that the Caterpillar sale is probably, by the time you're watching this video, happening now, chances are that reveal could very well be the Polaris itself. And I agree with that interpretation. I'm going with that. And that's kind of like one of the great things. Like, seriously, when you guys leave your comments and you go, well, have you thought of this and have you thought of that? That's the kind of stuff that I thrive on, because like I'm not really doing this to be, quote unquote, a professional YouTuber. I just do this as kind of like a rolling diary of my thoughts and ideas in relative to the game, and also, just keeping people up to date on what ships are coming out. And so having all that feedback really does help. Even some people put some pretty aggressive comments on some of my videos. Some of that does help out as well too. So yeah, those were two really great points that Cody Horn made. And so it looks like it could possibly be the Polaris that we will see at Gamescom, which is August 17th to the 21st, I believe. So definitely something to look forward to there in the nearish future. And that about wraps it up for everything. Of course, there is the Buccaneer has still not begun white boxing. It looks like it is slated to be as soon as the Herald clears, the Buccaneer is going to go in. So that it looks like the Buccaneer is going to be getting started fairly soon. But apart from that, I haven't heard anything yet on the Cutlass revamp, though someone was asking if you would be able to fit a what is it? So many ship names floating around in my head right now. If you would be able to fit a Dragonfly inside of a Cutlass, and they didn't really commit to yes you could, but it seemed likely. But once again, they have to wait until they get it all built out and they get all the dimensions squared away before they can really say for certain. So, and still no idea on when the Cutlass revamp is happening. Though I would think with so many Drake things going on, you'd probably want to put that in with the rest of it. So, once again, a very Drake-centric episode. Last year was Aegis's year, and it seems like this is Drake's year. No word yet on anything to do with the Banu Merchantman. I know. Pursuing it, but, I can only report the weather. I can't make the weather. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and thanks for watching.
Quantum travel initiated.